Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, so we're going to do another random comic book review, and this one is going to be a very beat up copy of Iron Fist number 10 from 1976. Let's see here. So we'll start here. The cover, it doesn't say on here, but if you know his style, the cover is clearly Dave Cockrum. And let's see, what are we saying here? Can't let that murderer escape. Fire. No, you'll hit Colleen. So I guess that's Colleen Wing, and that's probably supposed to be Misty Knight. And here's Danny Rand smashing up a cop car. Wanted, wanted, Iron Fist, Kung Fu Killer. I know this is issue 10. I know like in issue 12, there's like a crossover with Captain America, or Captain America just sort of guest stars, and Cap's like, "I know you. You're that kung fu killer," and they have a fight, and then of course they have to team up. But anyway, let's talk about this comic here. This year, I got to be careful with this because you could tell it's all kind of, it's all kinds of chipped up and worn out. And you look at the back here. Here, this is there's a tear there. And look, you can tell, you know, whatever kid had this back in the day tried to tape it up, But now, of course, this is why you're not supposed to tape your comics, kids, because it deteriorates the paper and whatnot. So, so I have to be careful holding this. Look at this. Look at this. There's some discoloration going on there. And it also looks like it's been folded up a bunch of times like this. And you know what I mean? And I don't even remember if anybody knows, like back in the day, that was a common thing. I actually remember being alive and like reading comic books as a young kid. Hang on, as a young kid back in the late '70s, and the whole thing about taking care of your comics. When you're the 9, 10 year old, you don't always care that much. When you're 8, 9, 10, you don't always care that much. So yeah, you'll do stuff like fold them up, put them in your back pocket, and that was a real big thing back in the whatever 40s, 50s. Kids would just fold them up, put them in your pocket or whatever. And yeah, because nobody was thinking about, oh, I must take care of them because they're going to be worth money one day, or even I just want to take care of them just because I like them. That hit my brain first. That I should take care of them because hey, I like them. I want to keep them. I want to read them again. And then I started taking care of them. That idea came to me first before. Oh, I'm gonna make. I need to salt it away and put them in a bag or something. I'm gonna make tons of money off of it. But anyway, so here we go. Oh, there's another thing you can see. It's coming off here, the staple. So it's really falling apart. But anyway, Kung Fu Killer. The story's written by Chris Claremont, the artist by John Byrne and Dan Atkins. You got a little kind of fake sort of newspaper ad here, very symbolic ad too, with the Daily Bugle back there. Joseph Robinson and Archie Goodwin editors. Joe Robinson, of course, is a city editor from the Spider-Man comics. But Archie Goodwin was a real person, though, who was the actual editor-in-chief of Marvel at this time. And, of course, you have your Is Spider-Man Involved by J. Jonah Jameson. Hardy har har. Okay, so anyway, the cops have got Iron Fist backed up in an alley somewhere because they think he's killed somebody. Oh, wait a minute, let's do it this way. And they ask him to surrender. Of course, he's not going to surrender. Throws a brick, knocks out the light in one of the headlights, and he runs away. Okay, and then you learn how to teach yourself music. And then, of course, we get this sort of recap where last issue, Iron Fist has a fight with this gang leader, but the gang leader is really a DA. Yeah, well, he's a lawyer on the DA Tower staff. He's as honest a man as they come, and you've killed him. So Iron Fist runs away, and that's where we're at now. Here he is trying to get away. He sees somebody sneaking up on him with a gun, but it turns out that person sneaking up on him wants to give him Slim Jims and powerful muscles. Now, the person speaking up on him is his dear friend, Misty Knight, and her partner, Colleen Wing. And they're close friends of Iron Fist. And he has to explain to them, no, I haven't killed anybody. I am, in fact, innocent. I am innocent. And he kind of explains what's going on. And he kind of convinces them more or less. They're like, well, okay. And then they go out and buy Halloween costumes of the Hulk and Spider-Man and the creature from the Black Lagoon and the devil and the mummy and Frankenstein and the werewolf and the goof. Okay? And then they sell grit and get some cash prizes. I don't know why I find this funny, but I do. You know why? Because I think, well, anyway, he says, okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to clear my name and I'm going to bring down the guilty parties, And it's this guy named Chaka, Chaka is the bad guy, the gang leader bad guy he was fighting in the last issue, who set him up and framed him for murder. And he's declaring vengeance up here. Okay? It's funny because I think of like Abe Simpson from The Simpsons. Old man shakes fist at cloud. Okay. Anyway, so he's going to take down Chaka's operation. All right. Bam. Okay. Goes into some place where they're dealing heroin or something. If you want to know, if Chaka wants to know what happened to this month's drug shipment, you tell him Iron Fist happened. You tell him this is only the beginning. Okay, and then we get this splash page of Iron Fist just going around town, beating up the guys, minions and workers and drug pushers and pimps and all that type of stuff. If it was a movie, it'd kind of be a montage. Here's what's funny about this. Until by week's end, the Golden Tigers are so scared of you, they won't even set foot out on the street, much less create a crime. Who knew? Who knew that all it took was maybe a week of beating up people to solve the gang problem? Who knew that? All right. Okay, so now they're at they're at Nightwing Restorations, which is Misty Knight's and Colleen Wing's private eye office. And then Chaka attacks them there. Then they have a fight. Chaka takes out Misty and Colleen pretty easily. And then O.J. Simpson shows up. The juice is on the loose. And he gets people to buy Marvel Comics book covers to protect your school books. Letters page. And of course, a thing for Howard the Duck for president. And then you buy some subscriptions, and you pump some muscles, and you customize your van, and then you go back to the fight. What's interesting about the fights in Iron Fist versus the fights in, say, Master of Kung Fu that was coming out around the same time, well, depending on the artist, John Byrne basically just drew the same sort of fights he would draw for, any other superhero comic. He with a little bit more kicking in it, you know what I mean? But something like Paul Gulacy would actually try to do like fight choreography in his comics. So you'd actually have them use arm bars or chokeholds or certain fighting techniques as opposed to um, a lot of other artists who didn't bother. I mean, they still did fun. It was still exciting fight scenes, but their thing was obviously not um, realistic. I don't know, accurate, I guess, as far as actual having martial arts in the fucking comics. So anyway, it's a pretty cool scene here where they're fighting the office and they're tumbling down the stairs and whatnot. Ends right here. Uh, okay, and the fight spills out to the streets. Here's a cop car. Then they have more of the fight. Iron Fist breaks the triple iron. He's like, we're going to settle this man to man now. Yep. Bullpen bulletins. Here's an ad for the first issue of Spectacular Spider-Man. Jerry Conway and I think Sal Buscema. The thing I remember about this is the captions and the dialogues here in the ad for the comic. And I'm too lazy to, well, maybe we'll do it some other time. But the actual comic that came out had it was the same image, but it had a completely different, like I said, captions and dialogue and whatnot there. So I remember thinking that was funny when I was a kid. Hostess ad, Twinkies, Spider-Man versus the Fly. And pretty sure that's some Ross Andrew art there. And back to Iron Fist fighting with Chaka. It's just mano a mano, two-fisted action here. And he's smacking them around. Then the police show up. Lieutenant 70s shows up with his shades and his big mustache, right? And he's like, you tell them who killed the DA. Well, you killed the DA. No, he didn't. I'm right here. And I know everything. You mind controlled me and put me in your costume and then knocked me out. But I survived. And so now I can tell it in court or whatever. And that's it. And the next issue we get the return of the Wrecking Crew. All right. And an ad for, okay, World of Encyclopedias, the World Encyclopedia of Comics, edited by Maurice Horn. John Romita, Captain America, and somebody tracing over John Romita, Captain America, or I'm sorry, John Romita, Spider-Man. That's not the actual image, but it looks like somebody drew over the actual image. That was an image I remember seeing a lot when I was a kid. I can't remember if it was clip art, it was from a comic, or it was from a whatever. But like I said, you can tell this isn't the actual original art. It's something that somebody traced over and then pasted on here. And then more bodybuilding things. All right. Okay, so then that's it for this segment. Thank you very much for watching, and everybody have a good day.